And welcome back to the Flames of War Championships for the channel. Still round one, and it is me as the Italians versus Tom as the Germans. So me running a Bersaglieri rifle company and Tom using a Panzer III company respectively. If you want to see the list, look at the intro video. Remember to see if I can put a tag so you can click and you can have a look. So a few minutes long, but you'll be able to see what we're using and what the other two players are using. So basically, I picked defend, Tom also picked defend, and we ended up getting breakthrough with me ultimately defending. So we'll see all that, and then we'll get straight into the game.
Okay, so this is deployment for my game with Tom. Now I decided to use the same table because one, it's already set up, great, and it wasn't a bad table and it's quite fair. So each round will be the same table if I can help it. But we ended up getting breakthrough, which was exactly the same as what Richard and Jimmy had, so even more fair, shall we say. So I ended up being the defender, so I felt Jimmy picked some good corners last time, so I picked the same ones. And funny enough, Tom has attacked from the same corner Richard attacked from. And here we have the objectives he placed, more or less similar to where Richard placed his ones, although I think his one was a bit further forward by here. So let's go through my deployment. So I have 188 on the ridge, so he can harass, if he stays alive, any German tanks going that way. I have my OP by here, which, same place Jimmy put his one. I have my mortars, who can see, because he's in contact with the tall terrain by here, through here, and obviously here. My LMGs are up in these buildings by here, again to harass the infantry. And then I have my second platoon and my first platoon here. Now these are the ones with the Bersaglieri bombs. Another 88 on the ridge, and then my HQ is here within command range of this lot. And then I have my scouts by the ridge here to prevent any pesky dashing going through here. Now unfortunately I only had elite on this 88 on my scouts so far. I still have 2 more units to roll for because my 25 pounders are in ambush, which I have them because there's a lot of anti-tank there, but they are large guns, so they have to be as further than 16 inches away when I pop them, but it means they cannot be ranged in on in that first turn. So there we go. And then I have my 6 long semoventes in reserve, so not too bad, but only 2 big anti-tank guns to deal with. So Tom has his infantry in reserve, so they will be coming on this corner by here. And he has his big Panzer III platoon here with the marders. And I believe the marders are going to probably get rid of that 88 first turn. I am long range though, so that could help me out. His 25 pounders are here. I can clip one already with my ranged in marker. There's another one under here somewhere. From the 25 pounder, and as you can see here, this is the 3 platoon and the HQ and the Panzer IIs, and that's it. So Tom of course will be getting first turn, and I will be getting immediate reserves, and his one's flanking delayed, but the good thing with him, he only got to place 1 unit in reserve, and the objectives become active in turn 6, so I have to hold out. But I don't know, I'm feeling quietly confident, but Tom is an elite player and he knows what he's doing. And of course, because it's a remote game, there won't be a lot of dice rolling. In fact, there'll be next to none apart from motivations. It's just you won't see any on Tom's side, but you'll get a recap. So, but then the next games you'll see nice long hour feature length video. So let's get stuck into turn 1. Okay, Afrika Corps turn 1. So basically, these guys have done a terrain dash with a failed follow me into the scrub. These guys have done a tactical. This guy's dashed up, and then these 2 have done a tactical. These 3, one of them is the 2IC have dashed up, and the 2IC did have a successful follow me, the platoon didn't. But the HQ and the unit leader from this platoon are now in assault range on the MGs. So that is that. So now we go into German shooting. Okay, so Tom started off with a smoke barrage from his 25 pounders, which is skirting across by here. We then have a platoon of Panzer IIIs and Panzer IIs firing MGs into my 88. Exactly 5 hits, and it turns out if you swear to your dice, they will roll better, because When the Panzer IIs had 3 hits, I passed all 3 4-up saves, and that is a shooting because everything else did a dash or had a follow me. But we do now have an assault because these 2 Panzer IIIs can make it into contact with the wall here, but they will have to do some cross checks, so hopefully they can get stuck, but they're not infantry teams, so I'm just not really going to be able to do much against that. So we will go into the assault phase and see what happens. Okay, so the assault was successful. They got 1 kill. I then decided to counter-attack because my guys were in building, so they were safe, but I failed, so I pulled back to here and here. So that's it. So now we go into Italian turn 1. Now I have motivation, so I have a pin down 88 and the pin down MGs, and I believe now the MGs are gonna have to do a last stand because I'm down to 2 of them, which is annoying. So I'll do the 88 first. Does it rally? It does on a 6. Do I rally the infantry? The MGs, I do not. So then I have a last stand on the MGs, which they fail. I will be bringing in my ambush. And will I get reserves this turn? I do. Excellent. So that is my reserves coming in, and I have ambush as well. So we will get into Italian movement. Okay, so reserves came in by here. They were elite, so that's nice. And then my 25 pounders, I had to put them up on the hill because I would have liked to have them by here, but these Panzer IIIs have blocked them off. My scout cars have done a tactical move here, so I can get into the rear of these Panzer IIIs. And my Italian infantry, I've done a cross-country dash up to the railway, a follow me, which I failed, and they're really good at doing that. And then I did the same with the HQ, did the cross-country to here, but failed, and the second platoon had just moved 1, 2, 3 bases to here. And that is it, so we go into shooting. I am going to start with smoke. I'm just going to try and help out the semoventes as long as I can by putting some smoke by the scrub to stop the marders running rampant, so we'll do that now. Okay, shooting. I started off with smoke with the mortars just to try and protect the semoventes as long as I can. The semoventes managed to kill 1 Panzer III and the 88 killed another. My 25 pounders repeated the bombardment, but I needed 5s to hit because I couldn't see. Scout cars managed to get 2 hits on the HQ, which were fobbed and then passed. I did have a chance to bail 1, but I failed because it is 5+ firepower. And that is it. So we go into German turn 2. So Tom, you have no motivation to do, so we'll go straight into your movement. Okay, German movement. The Marders have done a tactical move through the smoke. These Panzer IIIs have stayed put. The Panzer IIs are moving to flank around the 88, and these Panzer IIIs here with a blitz move have moved out of range of the 88 on the ridge here, and these Panzer IIIs have done a tactical move to assault through this gate. We'll need to cross-check though, but there we go. And yeah, these semoventes are in a bit of trouble now, so let's get into German shooting. Okay, so in this turn, return fire from Panzer IIIs and Marders. I lost 2 semoventes. Luckily, the 88 has not been pinned by the Panzer IIs and 3s, but the 25 pounders have bullied my scout cars and they had 4 hits, so they are no more. And that is it. So these guys have held fire, so they can go and assault, and there will maybe another assault coming here from the Panzer IIs onto this guy, so let's see what happens with that. Okay, as you'd expect, the Panzer III made it in to contact, killed. I couldn't assault, so I had to break away, so 1 went here, 1 went here, so they're going to have to last stand. The OP went to here. Then when the Panzer IIs assaulted the 88, 3 defensive fire shots thanks to the OP. I missed all 3, so then I used a lucky card to get 1 hit and kill on the Panzer II just to make the 88 worthwhile, I suppose. But then the Panzer II killed him, and that is it. So that's where we lead it. They consolidate to get cover from their friend, and the Panzer IIIs did a shooting scoot to here. So we go into Italian turn 2. I have a rally test to do on my mortars. which they pass, but then I have to do a last stand as well, which they get a 6 and pass. So that will be it for my motivations. So now I'll be going into movement. Okay, Italian movement. My semovente has moved around the side of the Panzer IIs. Hopefully I can pick one off. My mortars, one went here, and the unit leader, being him, did a follow me to here, so they don't. Oh, they will have to do last stands. They're infantry units, yeah. So that was kind of pointless. My infantry have now moved onto the objective here, again failing to follow me, and my HQ has moved here, and then I tried to dig in these 3 guys and they have failed as well. So that is it. So now we go into Italian shooting. Okay, so the brave OP missed. My semoventes on the ridge killed another Panzer III, and these 2 open shots on the Panzer IIs I went for in the end missed. Terrible. My 25-pounders managed to kill one of his 25-pounders and pin them, and then my 88 had a long range shot needing a 6, but I only got a 4 and a 5, so things aren't looking great at the moment for me. Going into German turn 3, but we do have a last stand to do. But is he in reroll range is a question. He is not, so be one unit to get rid of would be nice. So we are going into German turn 3. Okay, so we have Tom's motivation turn 3, so we have a pin down 25-pounder, captured 25-pounders, rallying on a 4.
They pass.
So they pass, and then the last thing is the last stand on the Panzer III. I did check, Tom, it is just outside of 6 inches.
Yeah, I thought it would be. He passes on a 6 as well.
Nice, and then you have 1 dice for reserves.
Oh yeah, so you take them on? No.
Okay, so they're not on yet. So pass the last stand, and they have rallied. So we go into German movement. Okay, so German movement. Everything seems to be swarming the semoventes. So the marders are coming round doing a tactical move. 3 of them can get shots. The 3 which were in this courtyard, they've all managed to pass their cross checks and are moving and now in short range. HQ is doing the same, and this guy is going to try and get rid of the OP. And then these 2 have done a tactical and a follow me to assault the mortars. And that is it. So we go into German shooting. Okay, so German shooting started off with the 25-pounders ranging in here. They hit an infantry team after ranging in first attempt. I failed my save but passed, and then they also managed to kill a 25-pounder. The Panzer III that moved point blank killed the OP, and then all these guys managed to kill 2 semoventes and bail 2 more. So I need both of these guys back in, otherwise I'm last standing. And then finally we have the assault on the poor mortar teams, where Tom is slowly wrapping things up on this flank, unfortunately. So we will go into the assault and see what happens. Okay, so as you imagined, they killed him, and the guy has broken back to here. So, first of all, I have 2 remounts to do on a 2+. Now these Italian dice have not been kind to me, but I stopped swearing at them at some point, so I need to kind of bring back that. So these pricks need to roll 2s, and I rolled 2 2s, which luckily I'm playing Italians would not have been much good elsewhere. And to double check, my remount is a 2+, and luckily now they don't have to do a rally check. No, a last stand. So I have a pinned mortar team that rallies. I then have my pinned infantry team that will have a reroll. No, not a reroll. Do they rally on a 3+? They do. And then I have the 25-pounders that do not rally on a 2. So they're the ones who really did need the rally. And then I have a last stand on the mortar team, which passes on a 6. So there we go. So we now can go into the shooting phase. Movement phase first. Not that I'm going to be moving much, you'll just be digging in. Okay then, so we have the movement done. These guys have just stayed where they are because they're going to probably die next turn. So let's see if I can get some stuff at least. So these guys have dug in, so have the HQ, but the 3 guys who moved from this platoon have still not been able to get back into the foxholes that they haven't dug yet. And that is it. So we now go into shooting, which is diminishing my amount of shots turn by turn. So let's see what happens. Okay, the shooting wise, the 88 again tried to fire long range onto this 25 pounder but missed. Short range, 4 dice, got 1 hit on the Panzer IIIs, but I managed to kill another one. So I've popped 4 so far with, no, only 3 with the semoventes so far because an 88 got 1. But they are a sizable chunk of points. So we now go into German turn 4, and it would be nice if Tom can move into range of my actual anti-tank guns at some point. So here we go, into German turn 4. Okay Tom, so only 1 motivation for you, a last stand with a reroll on your Panzer III.
Yep. He's a good man at 1 and a 5.
Oh. And then we have 2 dice for your reserves.
Yep. Oh, balls. They'll come on.
Okay. Okay, so they are coming on in the corner with my infantry, so maybe we might be able to kill something at last. So we go into German movement. Okay, German movement. The Panzer IIIs here have done a tactical to try and get rid of this mortar team, and these guys have all dashed up. Panzer IIs have done attack, well, they're just hiding by here. And the Marders did a successful blitz move to finish off the semoventes. And the infantry have come in, but are trying and remain out of sight as much as possible from my infantry. And that is it. So we'll be going into German shooting. Okay, so German shooting, they managed to pin my infantry again by here and kill a team this time. They could not kill the mortar team, and they could not get any hits on my infantry by here, but 3 hits in total onto the semoventes leaves them no more. So we will go into some rallying in my turn 4. So we have my pinned down infantry team that does not rally, my pinned down 25 pounders who do not rally on a 3. I will just double check the motivation, and then a last stand on him, a 3. So we will see if that all passes. So the 25 pounders are fearless, and the mortars are a 4+, so they will be running away, and I needed them as a speed bump, so we will be going into my movement. Okay, so it comes down to it. The Italians are going to charge into the German infantry. Hopefully I can pin them, because otherwise it's going to be very, very tricky otherwise. HQ's coming along to shout to them to help them get through this, and that's it. So I have shooting down here, and I have 25 pounders. Oh, and of course I have an 88 who's not done much. So we will try and deal with that. So we'll do shooting and recap, and then hopefully an assault. Okay, so my 88 missed again. 25 pounders also missed onto these 25 pounders. Over here I got 5 hits in total, but Tom passed every single one of his saves. So now I'm going to have to be careful, and I'm going to have to assault through these woods to get +1 to hit, because there's a lot of defensive fire here now. So I shall do that, rejig everything, and we'll get into defensive fire. Okay, so that assault did not go well. I lost 2 guys to defensive fire, but I got in, and then I only killed 1 guy. And then Tom counterattacked and killed 3 more, even with his heavy weapon teams. And then I failed my counterattack with a reroll on a 4-up. So there's a lot of 50-50 dice there, and none of them went in my favour. So I might need new Avanti dice. So we go into German turn 5. 2 motivations, 3 motivations for you, Tom. You have a rally test on your 25 pounders.
Okay. They fail.
A rally test on your infantry.
They pass.
And then a last stand on your Panzer III.
He sticks around at 3 and a 1.
Oh, This is going to be a hideous loss coming this way. So we have German movement. Okay, German movement. These guys have dashed, staying out of line of sight of the 25 pounders. Panzer IIs have shifted down to here. Can't be seen. Threat range of the 25 pounders end by here, so they're out of range. And then the German infantry have remained stationary, and that is it, folks. So we go into German shooting. Luckily, no artillery coming my way this time, which is nice, but a lot of very exposed infantry here now. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so German shooting, 5, 6, 7 hits total, and I passed 2 saves. One of them being my 2IC, and one being the last remaining guy who's now a unit leader. So going into my turn, if I fail my last stand on him, unfortunately that will be game. So first of all, let's try and rally everyone. So let's rally him, with a reroll, I pass. The 2IC, I rally. The infantry platoon up above does not rally, and then a last stand, which is a 4+ on these guys. I'm not very confident on this. I pass for some reason, so he sticks around for a little bit longer, and we go into my turn 5. Okay, so movement phase, I dug in the 2IC, but this guy is still left in the open. I then ranged in, second attempt with the 25 pounders here, failed to hit anything. I had 4 teams under there, and then I had 2 shots here onto the infantry, both missed, and then the 88 also missed. So we go into German turn 6. And again, all I need to do is to kill this one guy who has gone to ground, and that will be game for them anyway. Otherwise they can just assault me off, and that's it. So more or less will concede at this point, Tom. I think is a foregone conclusion that will happen, if you understand. Like yeah, fair enough. Like, even if you don't kill me with shooting, you'll easily assault me off, and I won't be able to stop you. And plus, you got your Panzer IIIs coming around as well, and that is it. And if that was a mixture of terrible rolling from me, I hate to have sour grapes, and some very good rolling from you, Tom. I think it just went from bad to worse very quickly.
Yeah, I think I was able just to isolate the semoventes and keep mounting casualties on them, so they're always on an uphill battle, and a couple of good armour rolls kept my panzers in the fight. And then but I was able to isolate and pick on your weapons platoons.
Yeah.
And that got me some extra movement as well, actually. And then because he didn't occupy the town and then the infantry, I could use that to screen my flank.
Yeah, the reason I didn't occupy the town is it would have left one objective unguarded by infantry, and I was hoping that first platoon would have had enough momentum to get rid of your Afrika platoon, and it just did not happen at all.
Yeah, and looking at the table at the start of the game, the quarter of all the hills, I just thought, if I go around that way, I'm just going to get shot to buggery by 25 pounders or oncoming semoventes. So I thought,
Yeah.
if I swarm the quarter with very little terrain, I can stop your ambushing 25 pounders and then just isolate any reserves that come on. A bit of luck being able to charge 88 and kill that off as well, that helped a lot.
Yeah, I think, Tom, even if you had gone through the gauntlet of 25 pounders and the 88, you would have been okay with my shooting today.
No, you've got to minimise the risk.
Yeah.
And so even the Panzer II's charging the 88, it was a small stake for me. Like, if you kill the Panzer II's, I'm not that bothered, but they can kill an 88, which means a lot of difference.
Oh yeah, big difference.
But if I went charging down that gauntlet of fire, then your infantry can mop up what your anti-tank guns failed to kill.
Well, either way, that is an 8-1 victory to you, which puts you in the lead on the scoreboards and puts you one step closer to a Panzer III objective.
Right, well, very fortunate for that.
Okay, man of the match for you?
Oh, it's a tricky one because I think everyone performed well, but I'd have to say probably the infantry.
Oh, I know, the men of iron over there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they're not exactly a big platoon to start with, and my ones are, and you definitely won that battle easily, somehow.
Yeah, I was very concerned when they came on because I knew Panzer support was at least another turn away, but some very fortunate infantry saves. It's been a long time since I've passed 5 infantry saves like that.
Well, just to say, if it was the other way round, I would have lost 5 guys, or at least 3. My man of the match will probably be the semoventes, because other than the 88, and I maybe killed one team with the infantry, they're the only ones who killed anything and came close to maybe scraping an infantry, maybe knocking it down to a major victory. But even now, you're only potentially going to lose 1 unit with a last stand, and that's just not enough.
Yeah.
So that is game, and so there you go. So you will be against Jimmy for round 2, his defensive British list, and I unfortunately now have to go against the horde of American tanks.
Well, I'm definitely frightened of those 6-pounders.
He's got a lot of them.
He does. You've obviously burnt him.
Yes, but the only issue is the firepower with them, and that's it. So I'll sign off with the recording. So thank you everyone for watching. Sorry to everyone who loves the Avanti. I just couldn't do a good enough job with them, but there's 2 more games left, so usually I aim for mid-table, so that is either 2nd or 3rd, so I'll aim for that and go for there. But at the moment, I don't look like I'll be retaining my Panzer III objective marker. So till then, stay safe and look out for round 2.
Okay, everyone, so that is round 1 done. Tom has taken an early lead with an impressive victory over me with 8 points. Jimmy also had a nice victory against Richard, giving him 7, and then leaves us 2 at the bottom with 2 points, and me, unfortunately, just being able to get 1, giving me an absolute mountain to climb up to see if I can get my own Panzer III objective to keep in my house as my trophy. Maybe we might keep on playing that as a little trophy every time, but maybe we'll just get a different one every year. But at the moment, it's looking securely in Tom's hands. So we'll have a look at what the draw is for round 2. Okay, so this is the draw for round 2. We've kept it winner versus winner, and obviously loser versus loser. So Jimmy versus Tom. Tom is very worried about the 6-pounders because there's a lot of 6-pounders. Definitely a lot more anti-tank than I had at the start of the game, but it should be a very interesting game. And I am against the horde of aggressive American tanks, but with decent armor. So probably, because obviously after this round I'll be playing Jimmy, might be my last chance to notch up a victory. Hopefully this time I'll have a lot more elite units, but a lot more to think about. So that is it. Keep an eye out for round 2. I know Richard is currently sailing around the Greek islands. Nice. So it'll be a while. And Tom is having keyhole surgery in his knee. So quite polar opposites on reasons why they can't play their game. But me and Jimmy can have a good few bulge battles and try out some new aggressive, reluctant stuff.